I'm going to call this 29 Palms Planning Commission meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call.
Commissioner Krushat,
Here.
Commissioner Pahana,
Here.
Commissioner Walker,
Here.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Here.
Chair Cure,
Here.
all present.
Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going on the city website and clicking on the meeting agendas link. Public comments. This is a time for the public to address the Planning Commission on issues within the jurisdiction of the Commission that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the chair of the Commission and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limitation of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out name and address slips and give them to the Planning Commission Secretary. The Planning Commission is prohibited by the Brown Act from taking action or discussing at length items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments on specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Open public comment. Does anyone have any public comment that's not agenda item? Everything I have up here is for agenda item 2. Close public comment. Commission comments and reports of meetings attended. Start with Leslie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Participated in a few of the events this wonderful Pioneer Days of '89 this year. It's great to see everybody. A lot of things that I didn't get to attend. Saw wonderful pictures. Looks like everything was great turnout. That's all.
I also attended several of the Pioneer Days events. They all seemed to be pretty well participated in. It was a good time. It's always a fun weekend in town.
Since the last meeting I attended in June, I attended the city council meeting in July, where they voted on the Offland project, and the only other thing I did was supporting an exercise in Japan. And now I'm back in country, and I'm glad to be back in country. Thank you.
I unfortunately haven't been able to attend any meetings since our last.
Hi, I haven't attended any meetings, but I did get out for the Highway 62 art tours, and there was actually a lot in 29 Palms, which was fun. Got to see a lot of neighborhoods that I haven't actually driven down the road, so I love that. And then the Historical Plaza, the car show for the Pioneer Town Days, and then the Unity Home fundraiser. Okay, let's move to the consent calendar.
I motion that we accept the minutes as written.
I second.
We vote.
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Pahana,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Aye.
Chair Cure,
Aye.
5-0 approved.
Public hearings. The agenda item 2, the Amboy Resort.
Thank you, Commissioner Cure. This is conditional use permit 24-4 Amboy Resort, which is a conditional use permit requesting approval of the development of a 30-unit resort consisting of 3D printed cabins, 2 community buildings, covered patio and pool and spa area. It is located on Amboy Road, east of Adobe and west of Desert Knoll. The development is proposed on the southern 5 acres of a 10-acre piece because it has split zoning, and the tourist commercial zoning is on the south half, and single-family residential is on the north half. The project will be developed on the south 5 acres, and the north 5 acres will be left undisturbed. The property is surrounded by vacant lands on all four sides, and each cabin is proposed to be approximately 200 square feet. The community buildings are 1,900 square feet, 920 square feet, and the covered patio area is 3,500 square feet. The parking area is to be located to the south of the cabin area. There will be no vehicular access within the resort area. There is a proposed concrete walking golf cart path to access all areas of the project. So this is the aerial. So the golf course is to the east. You have some industrial buildings here to the southwest, and this is the water district property to the southeast. And just to the south, you can barely see it, but you have the Cones Field Airport. This is the zoning map. Again, golf course zoning is to the east. The purple colors, a commercial tourist, general commercial to the west, and service commercial to the southwest. And then we have the residential one in this yellow color, etc. So this is the site plan. So it's a little disorienting because north is to the east, but they would be coming along, parking along the southern edge of the project. Notice that they're only developing the southern half of the project of the property. The northern half is to remain undisturbed. This is the orientation of the cabins with the pool and community buildings here up front. This is again pre-manufactured, so this is what the items will look like. And these are the elevations of the community buildings. Relatively small in stature. And our recommendation is the Plan Commission adopt the resolution, adopting a negative declaration and approving of the conditional use permit for the development of the 30-unit resort on Amboy Road. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you.
I have a question. If I may, you mentioned that out of the 10-acre parcel, the CT side would be the developed side.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions from Planning Commission before we open public comment? Okay. Open public comment on agenda item 2. I've received one letter from George Malopoulos in favor of agenda item 2. Chuck Burr. No? Yeah, okay, you can go ahead and come up for public comment. And then you didn't check on here if it was in favor or opposition, so just let us know up when you... Thank you. Okay.
There you go. Who should I address the questions to? Just the commission or about the project? Okay. One is the cabins are small, and then you're all entrusted with protecting the property owner, the community, the city. At 200 square feet, are these able, if the project financially fails, and this is here and built, what does the city do with it? Are they, we need residential buildings to put kids in schools, retirees, single family homes, and I'd like the Planning Commission to explore the what ifs. Are the 200 square foot units usable in any respect if the project fails? That's one thing. Also, is a conservation easement being applied to this other side? That's about it. Just kind of what I would like to hear from the Planning Commission is your exploration of the pros and cons of the project. You know, what are the benefits to the community? What if, how's this going to financially work if they're so tiny? You know, stuff like that. So I'd like to hear more interaction from you. So I'm going to sit back and listen to what you explore as pros and cons of this project. And one other question I had is, by right, how many units are allowed to be developed here? Does anybody have an answer to that before this PUD? As a blank piece of real estate, how many housing units are allowed to be put on it as is without approval by right? Do you have an answer to that?
But I would
Oh,
have
during
to-
public comment, we are not responding to questions.
Well, it's,
It's
I
pointing
I can
to-
look into it, but I
Keith
can't answer it
can.
right off the
Okay.
top of my head.
Okay.
So here's the short answer. In the CT zone, this is actually a resort development, and in the CT zone, it's really meant for commercial development. The higher density stuff, let's see, what is the zoning to the north?
Yeah.
It's RS2, so that's 5 acres, so you're looking at 10 units on the northern half.
Okay, and is it 10 units in the southern half too?
No,
So it's
because it's commercially zoned.
no units.
Yeah, I can double check in the
Yeah.
development code.
Yeah, you should know how many it is by right, and then how many they're asking for, and then what's the benefit to the city of 29 Palms? What's the public benefit to ask for a variance of what's actually allowed by right?
Well,
So-
since this is a commercial development, it's in a commercial zone, so they can propose this in the commercial zone.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Dane Austin.
Good afternoon. Yeah, just here I want to say a couple things in favor of the Amboy project. So my name's Dane Austin. I've lived in 29 now 5 years. Originally from Newport Beach. Love it out here in the desert. It just grabbed me when I came. We're big hikers. My twin daughters and I, my son as well, who's now 14, playing for Junior Palms, 29 Palms Junior High football team. We really like the community, so we like to see things progress. We came here in 2020 when it was practically a ghost town, and really things have kind of really started to turn a corner. And I think that with the innovation, well, really, so to express my support of the Amboy Resort, first of all, it's a 30-unit eco resort. It represents exactly the kind of responsible, forward-thinking development that 29 Palms needs, just to keep up with technology and what's going on with the growth we've seen in the short-term rental market. I mean, there's got to be huge benefits for the city. I can't see how having this group come in and put this development together. It doesn't seem like it's too high density. With the recent one that went over here, I forget what it's called, but the one with the containers. But I mean, the market's going to continue to expand. I've watched it expand. I know I'm more of a tour operator myself. I like to be out in the national park, and I think that this is something that will help improve and continue the growth that the national park has seen as far as tourism since COVID. I mean, we've almost doubled in the amount of people. The gates now, tripled in size on the west entrance, and I think that it just serves the market right. And bringing tourism here is probably the most important thing as far as revenue for this city. And I just want to see the city grow. I love it here, and I want my kids to grow up here. And I think it's things like this and projects like this that we like to see. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anna Stump.
Hi there, Anna Stump. I and my partner live close by. We're not that close, so we didn't get announced on this. But we live on that dune and up off of Utah Trail. And I'm wondering, I'm happy about the development because it's in the right place. It's commercial tourism, so I think that's great. I'm just wondering if the developer knows that the dune is used heavily by ATV, motorcycles, dune buggies, and I'm wondering what their opinion is on that. If they're going to fence the entire 10 acres to keep the ATVs off, if they're going to allow the ATVs to get close. I could imagine that people would be annoyed and upset because we often have ATVs going by us at 2 a.m. or 7 a.m. on Saturday, or if it rains immediately and they make a huge mess. We do not like the ATVs. We'd like to keep them away, and I'm hoping that the resort is not going to encourage ATVs. And I know that young people don't have a lot to do. A lot of people who've been riding in those dunes for a long time think it's public land or think it's, well, I've heard everything like, oh, it's native land. It was like, no, it's all private. You know, every single piece of those dunes is owned and it's private land. But the police will not come unless there's gunshots. And I'm telling you, there are gunshots. Probably once every 6 months, we call the police because they're shooting in the dunes. So I'm just wondering what the developer's opinion is of the dunes. I also know it looks like the base encourages riding in there too, because we see the same rental dune buggies coming sort of from the base in those dunes often. So that's my question. Thanks.
Thank you. So these are the two applicants for public comment. Steve Enox and Jean Eldman. Are you doing separate public comments? Yes. Okay. So let's start with Steve, please. What? You want me to start with Jean? Okay, let's start with Jean.
Well, thank you so much for bringing this to the consideration. We worked with staff of 29 Palms for now 18 months on this project, from the initial ideas through many iterations of what it'll look like, the density, and all the studies, cultural, biological, you name it. Just to give you a little bit flavor of what this will look like, we think it's going to be an incredible development, not just for 29 Palms, but for the whole region. This is going to be the first resort built with recycled materials. So some 4.5 million water bottles, instead of going in the landfill, are going to be used to make these units. The units are going to be totally self-supporting from energy, and they're going to have solar. So we're going to be very easy on the grid. If anything, we propose to create electricity for the grid. What does the resort look like? I'll read some of this. We'll use as much of natural recycled and reclaimed materials. It'll be carbon neutral off-grid, and as I said, we are hoping to sell to the grid. We'll have responsible water usage. We'll use gray water for landscaping. We'll maintain the native species. If you saw the floor plan, not only did we step away from the road, but also large area is not being used. So we're way under what's required for what's allowed under zoning. I think my understanding was 40 to 60 units are allowed. We're only doing 30. So again, the idea is not to use every inch, but to use land responsibly. We'll minimize, there's not going to be any plastic, not going to be any water bottles or water cups or any plastic at all. So it's going to be, we will try to minimize the waste that's generated by the project. There's not going to be any microplastics. Our material is tested. I'm with ADJOURNMENT Homes, the company that will provide the units, and we've already been producing them for 3.5 years, have units in 6 different states, and this is going to be the first full resort developed using this units. We're very much intend to have equitable treatment for employees. My son personally lived in this area for many years when he was just after college. Knows how expensive this area used to be, and even became more expensive. So we're going to work on the workforce housing as well, maybe on the land just north of it. And our idea is to offer not just as a resort for people coming in, but also to offer to the community. We'll have some beautiful pool, and the idea is to offer it to the community so that community members can pay a small membership fee, and if they want to use it when it's real hot, to use state-of-the-art facilities. The CEO of this resort is a registered nurse. She is going to have all kind of wellness activities so that people can come and really be in touch with the desert and all the benefits that desert brings. So I really, the name of the resort has been, it goes by Amboy Resort, but it'll be called Tiny Escapes. And so it'll be a really beautiful property. We do not encourage ATVs, so we're going to fence it and protect it. You know, I personally don't like it, and it's not going to happen here. So it's going to be a real plus to the community. You know, it was called, an initial name we used is Constellation, but you know, we're going to encourage people who come and want to see the desert and see the sky here in this area. So really looking forward to working with you. Again, work with the staff extensively on every area, and Steve will present some of the conditions we'd like to change, but majority of the planning and really just the staff, you know, Keith and Diane, been wonderful to work with. So thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
Good evening. My name's Steve Enix, and I've been working with Azure for now 18 months to get this project to this position. And I'm just going to clean up on 3 of the conditions here. So the first one, number 5, please. The condition as written requires submittal of plans and approval at the Water Quality Control Board. And this is one of the issues we've been working on this project for a long time. And under the California Regional Water Control Board guidelines for sewage disposal for land development, we see this project is exempt from their criteria because it generates 1,800 gallons per day when the criteria is 5,000. And and the other issue is it's less than 50 RV spaces or 50 motel rooms. So that's again under the guidelines for sewage disposal from land developments. And so the condition as written previously required submittal of plans and approvals with the water board. And what we're suggesting is that we obtain an exemption for submittals. We'll go to the board and present our case and get them to say, yeah, you're exempt, and then that would satisfy the condition. Can we go to 4, please? I threw him a curve. The other condition that I'd like to discuss is planning number 9. And as written, which was part of a report, states that we have to do a phase 2 report before we disturb any ground on the site. That's the way I read it. And part of that report, it identified 2 archaeological sensitive sites. And we've redesigned the project to eliminate any work into those sites. And so we'd like this condition to state that if we don't, only we're required to do a phase 2 if we work within the boundaries of those 2 sensitive sites. Okay, if we could go to number 6, please. So one of the conditions is written requires complete paving of all parking, trails, access, paths, everything. And it adds up to like 51,000 foot of pavement. And we would like to propose that only areas that are required for emergency vehicles and ADA issues be paved, and we use gravel for the rest of the parking and path system. And so I want to show you 3 pictures here. This is a picture of the Historical Society, where they've created a parking lot with concrete borders. This is what we're proposing to do with gravel on the interior, and then these borders on the perimeter. And by having these borders, it leaves it a nice clean look where the gravel goes right to the curb, and then that's it. Go to 7, please. So this is kind of disrepair and paint there, but with this curb system, we can paint red curbs, whatever we need to do to implement our parking plan. And then number 8, this is an example of how it creates some interesting spaces to do landscaping or things inside the parking lot. And then number 9, please. So this is how they handled their ADA or handicap parking within the dirt parking lot. Theirs is just DG or dirt. And so that's kind of similar to what we're proposing. So that's how our handicap parking will be. And so if we could go to the next 10. So this site plan has been colored up. And so here's what we're proposing. Amboy is at the top, so that's where the entrance to the project. And the two green with the hatch marks are the emergency vehicle access. So we're suggesting that those will remain paved per the fire department conditions we have. And then up in this area here is the handicap, so those would be concrete too. And then everything in yellow is what we're proposed to do gravel with curb borders. And so you have the parking lot and the entrance to the project, as well as this is the path system that goes through to the units. And we'll have pavement to the ADU accessible units. So on page number 11, please. What we're proposing to modify condition E to state all parking areas and access paths shall be paved as required for ADA access and fire department conditions. Everywhere else in the project where we're having surfaces that cars or people go on, we're going to do the curbed and the gravel. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment on agenda item 2? You already had your public comment on this one. Okay, I'm going to close public comment. Bring it back to the commission for questions and discussion.
So those archaeological sites, how will they be? So you said you worked around those archaeological sites. How will you keep people from being in those, or those, what was found in those areas? Okay. Well, how will you keep people from messing with those spaces and protecting those actual spaces? Yes, for the applicant.
The proposal is a 4-inch picket fence.
And when we're dealing with areas that are avoiding cultural resources, we are very sensitive to what the tribal nations are concerned with, and they are conditioned to have an archaeological monitor on site. And if they require further testing, we're gonna have to do further testing regardless. So, and sometimes when you put up a fence, it becomes an attractive nuisance. It all is gonna depend on how the tribe would like to have it treated. The proposal right now is to basically picket fence it off and not to bring attention to it. So that's how they're proposing to do it now. And I can confirm, if you look at the original proposal, which I had here, it was, pretty blocky, and it paved almost the whole area. But then with revisions and the studies that came in, they've avoided culturally sensitive and potentially biologically sensitive areas.
And so as it's conditioned now, is that they would have to do the phase 2. So while they're building, they would determine if during the building, they would have to have someone there, or is it no matter what, there's going to be someone there?
So no matter what, they have to have someone there.
Yeah.
So they have to have archaeological monitors there that are representative of the tribes that wish to participate. And we're not going to referee which nation gets to participate and which ones don't. So, and in one of these instances, since they have shown that they're avoiding these areas, if the nations wish to have further testing, they're going to have to do further testing. But I don't have any particular objection, or we don't have any particular objection to the change in the wording of the condition.
So even if you change the condition to what they're requesting, they can still be requested to do it anyway.
Yep.
And have to do that based on the, okay.
So it's not a waiving of the requirement, but it's
Change of language on the condition of
Yep.
their CUP.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we can't.
Yeah, let's do, what, did you ask a question?
I did want to ask a question of the developer.
Great.
When it's my turn.
Let's start with you, Jim. Go for it.
Oh, okay, no, just so I'm clear on one thing, you still have the effluent from all the cabins or the sewage being treated by a package plant, correct?
No, it's a conventional septic. And
Yeah,
that
conventional
was the
septic
purpose
for
of
each
the,
unit? Will it be septic for each unit?
No, it's
I thought it was a
you
centralized
can see
septic.
it on the plan right here.
Yeah,
There's the tank,
right.
here's the leach fields.
There's a leach
here's
field.
the
Okay,
backup.
I got it. So then my question is what you feel is the amount is such that you won't have to get a permit from the Regional Water Quality Control Board?
My feeling is that it's exempt.
Okay.
Because of the ordinance, and
Okay,
we hired an engineer to calculate the flows, and we're
Yeah.
well under the minimums.
okay.
And after speaking with our building official, as long as our engineer, his engineer can justify justify those numbers at the time of pulling the permit for the septic tank, then we're fine.
Okay. No, I'm very positive on the project because I like the environmental aspects of it. It does promote one of the pillars of a city, which is tourism, which will bring in the TOT dollars to the city, which we can always use. I'm impressed with the construction technique that you're using, and I'm glad that the city is getting an opportunity to get some experience with that, because I'm hoping that this can somehow be applied to affordable housing projects in the future. So my question is obviously these are being 3D printed off-site and then brought on-site. How long does it take to 3D print one element, or one building?
Yeah, it takes 24 hours to make
20
one unit. So,
Okay.
the speed is what makes it affordable. And we definitely are very interested to explore all kind of other affordable housing options. We really believe that potentially 5 acres that we're still remaining, we're considering how to develop that as affordable housing. Our employees will need place to live, so
Yeah.
right now we're planning to have them use some of our cabins, but ultimately we would like to develop affordable housing there.
Yeah. And then the other thing, because I was at I'm with the Historical Society when we put in our parking lot, so I'm good with their changes as they've got them proposed. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Alex?
What's the longevity on these houses that are 3D printed?
Yeah, we've done extensive testing on them, and we are they're gonna last longer than wooden houses because they're pest resistant, they're totally watertight, and they're very well insulated. So the reason they can work purely off solar is because there is gonna be R30, and not just in the ceiling as required by regulations, we're gonna be R30 all the way around. So that's what makes them very, the stain manufacturer is giving us 15-year color warranty, so we have a UV protection, and we have approval from ANSI, and American National Standard Institute. They've thoroughly tested it, and they will test the units before they arrive here to the site. So they will come with basically certificate of occupancy.
And do you have any plan on building to the north end of that property eventually, or attempting to, or is
We
there
still
another
don't,
phase?
but one of the areas that we're considering is doing a 10-unit, housing development, where again, for example, one or two of these houses could be offered to our employees, and then with interest rates coming down, a lot of projects are now going to become feasible. So when we considered it maybe 18 months ago, it wasn't feasible, but we're very interested to do that.
And in that area, you'll keep it more what it's zoned for, as opposed to trying to rezone it to
It's
commercial.
a little premature to talk about that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we really don't have, we've considered doing it, but we decided to just go with what's there now. And then, depending on feasibility, depending on how this project takes off, we'll make a decision.
Thank you. That's all my questions right now.
Max?
You guys mentioned you're gonna fence the project to kind of keep the ATVs out. Are you gonna do the whole 10 acres or just that 5-acre parcel you're gonna develop on?
Right now, the plans are just for 5 acres.
Okay,
Yeah, so something we could consider later.
that's all I have for right now.
Leslie?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Okay. We're not doing questions right now. We're not doing questions right now, so you can ask them after the meeting. Okay. All right, so some of my questions have already been answered, so hold with me. So one of them was the water board. So in terms of the condition for the septic, you mentioned, Keith, that as long as pretty much if EHS upon inspection verifies that it falls within the exemption, then that would be the case. So could we just then still include it, but change the language?
Right, it's a modification.
So that
of the
has to
language.
meet that based on the inspection from the county. Okay.
Just to clarify,
Yeah.
Chair, you're asking that if we modify the condition wording, that it doesn't erase that still has to
Correct.
stand? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's in the city. I mean, our building department does this, not environmental health. Just to
Oh, so this is in the city.
in the city.
So they will verify it upon inspection, and therefore, if it falls within the exemption,
Then they
it'll
don't
be
have to go to Water
considered
Quality
exempt.
Control Board.
Okay, so that I think that for me, that shift in language without saying it's just exempt, but okay. I had a question for the applicant. I know you said a lot about the materials and not using plastic, so I was wondering what the 3D printed material is.
Yeah, the 3D printed material is the combination of fiberglass and recycled plastic. So the strengths of the buildings is derived from fiberglass. Fiberglass is what's used for boats and for many other uses, very resilient. And the recycled plastic is used like as a material that holds fiberglass together. But 60% of the total weight of the material is recycled water bottles, PETG.
Okay, so it's just not using new plastics, but only recycled plastics.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And for this project, is it all undergrounded utilities as well? Yeah, okay.
Correct.
And so are you intending to model this as like a sustainable lodging development that you could also use for potential for your housing development?
Yeah,
Is that how you see it?
Yeah, it's already, so first of all, a number of resorts around the country already use these units. There just hasn't been one. And they vary from Big Sur to San Diego County, Escondido, and Texas and Georgia. So it just there hasn't been a large development all made from this unit. So these units have already been out in existence for over 3 years.
Yeah.
For affordable housing, yeah, also we completed an ADU in Palm Springs and ADUs around town, around LA. So again, it's been used, but not as a
Not as a
development.
resort yet. Okay. As far as the visitor the impact for the TOT, has that been calculated? No.
I have not. For planning commission purposes, we typically don't.
Okay, just,
If we do move this forward, if it has to go to city council for an appeal, which, you know,
Okay.
we'll see, then we might calculate that, but I just haven't calculated it for planning commission purposes.
and then is there someone that's on site managing? Okay,
Absolutely.
that's on site. As far as the other two, sorry, I made the separate notes over here. Your other, the sensitivity. Okay, for the paving, that's something that I see is okay. Paving for the ADA and that, and then as far as the path of travel for the rest, potentially still to appease ADA, you could do like a decomposed granite non-slip path of travel, and then, I mean, so would those things need to be specified?
The ADA has to be paved.
Yeah.
The ADA parking and the pathways have to be paved.
No matter what, okay.
So, yeah. So everything else is.
And why does that path of travel have to be paved?
Because it's ADA restrictions.
But ADA restrictions does not require you to have to do concrete. It could be DG, non-slip surface.
No, that's our
In the city it is?
in our building official request.
In your bid, okay. That's why I'm just, that's why I was trying to clarify, is it has to be because the city requires it on ADA, okay. But you do not require it for the parking, like if it was to be gravel, then I feel like it'd be more permeable.
Yeah, so the development code does have a provision in it that, you know, typically we normally require, you know, paving for
Mhm.
parking lots, but developers may request to the planning commission
Okay.
an alternate service. So this is why.
Okay, I just wanted to verify, okay. And then as far as the, what would the city do, the question from earlier, if the project failed and exploring using the 200 square feet for other things. I mean, I like the idea of the direction. I don't know that that has to do with today's meeting, but therefore, I mean, being able to do something that would turn into affordable housing, I don't know if that's something that could be added. As far as like the conservation easement, I see like with the since they're already separated, commercial, tourist, and residential, I mean, of course, I would love to see more conservation and easement projects. I just don't think that this falls in it because it is already residential versus commercial. Just trying to go through. You got the ATVs. Oh, and then one thing is just a note more for the applicant that I thought when you came up with it is when you're talking about all of the first built recycled materials, self-supporting spaces, that would be nice to potentially teach locals and local youth about this sort of built environment and how to replicate it. So that was just a note for me that I'd love to comment. And that's everything I have. Anything else from the commission?
Yes. What about light and noise? How's your light pollution wise and whatnot? Is it? Yeah, I meant you're right. We'll probably have to meet all the requirements, but okay.
Yeah, so like any other development, they've got to meet the dark sky ordinance with down shielded lighting and all of that. Noise. We are mostly concerned about noise if you're next to a residential development, or if you're next to schools or something like that. There's nothing directly adjacent. The closest residences, I guess you could say, is the RV park. So there's no, as far as we know, there's no single family residences directly next to it.
Real quick, I forgot. So for your two entrances to the project off of Amboy Road, are those going to be as they are in the drawings? They're not going to be kind of feathered at all because people drive awfully fast down that road and there's no turn lane for people to. So there's going to be people that potentially have to stop and wait for people coming the other direction to go by, and same on both.
I would say that's all gonna get ironed out as we do our engineering of our street improvement plans.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a 60-foot
Yeah.
easement, yeah.
So it's going to look like over in front of the RV park more than how it is right now. Okay, that's,
They will, when they do the improvements on Amboy, they are required to install a left turn lane.
oh, okay.
So they'll, yeah.
That's all I have.
Anyone else? Okay. So are you looking for the motion tonight? Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the negative declaration and approve the conditional use permit.
With the conditions modified?
With the
Yeah.
edits to the conditions of approval.
So can we specify those changes or can you?
If you're okay as the applicant has written them,
Okay.
propose them, then you can just say as proposed by
Want
the
to say like
applicant.
as the
As
changes that we discussed?
The changes as proposed from the applicant and as discussed at the planning commission.
As discussed with the planning commission, so we should be specific.
As discussed with the planning commission.
Okay.
It was E19, it was P9, P6, and I didn't get the last one.
It was E19. It was P9. And
P6,
P6. And this E pertaining to parking.
and P9, P6E pertaining to parking.
P6E. Yep.
I'll second that.
Vote?
Commissioner Krushat,
Aye.
Commissioner Pahana,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Aye.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Aye.
Chair Cure,
Aye.
approved.
Move to discussion and potential action items.
Okay. First of all, Amanda, are you still there? You are still there. Okay, good. I just want to make sure you're there. Okay, so. Thank you. All right. So this is a zoning determination for a potential smog check station in the DG zone, which is the downtown general specific plan. The property is located at 73709 29 Palms Highway, on the southeast corner of Adobe Road and 29 Palms Highway. We are in receipt of a request to for a pre-application for the
Excuse me
conversion-
really quick. Will you guys mind if you're going to take conversation, close the door to the back and thank you. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Keith.
So we are in receipt of the pre-application. Our recommendation was that a smog check station is not an allowed use in the DG zone. These are the commercial uses as you see on the screen. Automobiles, parts and sales, general retail is allowed, gas stations, et cetera, but it does not list automotive repair. So we typically have classified, and this is the first one, I believe this is the first smog check station we've had in this zone where automotive repair has not been specifically listed. So typically we've we would classify a smog check station as minor automotive repair, which is listed as either a conditionally allowed use or administratively allowed use in the commercial general, service commercial, and industrial commercial zones. There is the major automotive repair, which is allowed in some other zones, but just to see what language we're looking at. We have the representative of the property owner on the phone with us, and our recommendation is for the Plan Commission to take the information that's been presented and give direction to staff as to whether a smog check station could be allowed in the DG zone, and if so, under which level of process, and if we need to go over that, we can. Keep in mind that if that typically what happens is if a use is not listed in a development, as listed at all, we typically say it is not allowed. But if we go down the path of revisiting that, then we would need clarification as to if it's a conditional use permit, administrative permit, etc. So, so that is my presentation, and here for questions, and then we'll go from there.
Does the commission
I
have any
speak now?
comments or questions before?
Yeah, they're gonna
We
ask
open.
questions of staff first.
Okay, got it. Okay.
This is Jim Krushat. The first question, okay, so this is just a smog emissions test station, which is diagnostic equipment and a technician. You're not going to do any repair, or
Well-
are you proposing repair?
Well, we can have her speak too if she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have her speak first?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Is that okay?
Well, I was going to open public comment for doing that. So does anyone else have any comments before that? No. Okay. So then let's open public comment for. It's Amanda, right?
Yeah.
Amanda, I have your letter here. We've read it, so I just want to let you know. So if you want to go ahead and have your, speak on your, pretty much read your letter or make your public comment now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I would also like to say that the prospective tenant that runs Adobe Smog is also there today, so he can probably speak more to the business, but I do have a good understanding, and I'll try to quickly run through this letter. So my name is Amanda. I'm a real estate broker. I represent several clients in the high desert. My family has developed and currently operates multiple businesses in Yucca Valley and 29 Palms. So I'm writing to the city to please permit a smog business to operate at a 73709 29 Palms Highway, formerly known as Motor City. The property has been a car lot for over 45 years. It was previously operated by my grandfather, who is a Marine veteran stationed at the 29 Palms base. He's really played a key role in the city's growth. He built the McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Starbucks, and 7-Eleven. Our family currently owns over 50 acres of land in the high desert. So as you can imagine, we care greatly about the community and seeing it grow. So I personally have been trying to lease or sell the property for the past 2 or 3 years. It's been very challenging. The potential tenants that are interested in the space are all automotive related, but given the current city code and those uses not being permitted, it's been very limited. And a redevelopment has not been feasible for the investors that have shown interest in it. So given the building's layout and long history, we do believe it is better suited as a smog business or something automotive related rather than something such as retail or a restaurant or car wash, etc. So I know that the city has expressed interest, and forgive me because I can't look at the screen, I'm calling in, but in my conversations, they've expressed interest in, a quick service restaurant or a drive-through. And while I think that's a great mission, the property is only 13,000 square feet of land, and the building's only about 1,000 square feet. So with the required parking and the access points with the traffic off of the freeway, a redevelopment like this really isn't possible. And it's also a major financial undertaking, and given the current rents and demand in the area, it's unlikely a developer could make the numbers work. Recent comps in the area show an average price per square foot of around $230 a square foot, which places existing buildings well below the actual cost to replace or build new. The costs are disproportionate and would make it impossible for a new business to establish itself in downtown. I would like to address the zoning rationale, and Jim, I heard that you had a question on this. So a small business is a specialized use. It is regulated by the state and should be considered separately from general automotive repair. The smog checks are not classified as general automotive repair. They're classified as specialized automotive service according to the NAICS system. And I would like to clarify that there is no repair work being done here. And it is very regulated by the government as well. So, and Tracy's a owner of Adobe Smog, can speak to that. But it is a STAR certified smog center, and it's the only in 29 Palms, which lends itself to more issues. It's going to force residents in 29 Palms to travel to Yucca Valley or further for a smog check, which can be very challenging. Some people's cars may not even make it that far. And I would like to highlight, and this is from an article in the LA Times, the city manager said himself that this is a town where people need jobs and the town needs businesses. The poverty rate is 15.6% compared to 12% in the state as a whole. So I really want to make sure that I communicate the importance of keeping a local business in the city. And I would really hate to see the city of 29 Palms to lose another local business. The economy is already hurting, especially with the government shutdown. I know from personal experience, having, my family operate businesses here, they're really struggling. Federal services have slowed, and a lot of the residents who rely on Social Security and other benefits are suffering. Tourism is down. The park gates are open, but there's no entry fees. And this all trickles down to local businesses. These independent shop owners were expecting and counting on the fall and winter seasons to recover from a really slow summer, but this shutdown has further dampened revenues expectations. So I really believe that permitting a smog business is important and critical. It's going to create local jobs and support the local economy. It's going to provide a needed service for residents in the military. And so, again, I'm asking that the city, please approve this use at the former Motor City.
Thank you. And then, what was your name?
Amanda.
Oh, sorry, Amanda, not you. So I know you can tell from your phone call. Did you also want to make a public comment to speak? Because if so, Okay. All right. So we're going to bring it back to commission. We're going to close public comment.
Right, and I want to make a clarification here. We're not looking for the approval of a use, as whether or not
Yes.
it fits within a category that can be permitted.
Okay. All right.
And if I may, sorry, not to interrupt, I forgot to note, I did submit a couple of photos in the letter. I don't know if you need to show those on the screen, but I did just want to highlight the immaculate
Yeah, we do.
condition
We
that,
have seen the photos. We're getting all the things on the screen.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to commission. Do we want to go in a row? We'll start Jim again.
May I ask, Keith, you said that you're looking for not a use, but a type?
Well, okay, so our interpretation is that it's a smog check station is an automotive service, and automotive services are not listed in those zones. This is why we came to a disagreement with the proposed applicant. And if the commission agrees with the applicant that this is an allowed use somehow, we need to figure out under what process. And if that would be a conditional use permit or a site plan review or an administrative use permit. And realistically, it should be some sort of finding that, how would we fit the smog check station into the list of allowable uses that we already have, as opposed to having to rewrite the code. And we had trouble doing that.
And
this is why we're here.
Mr. Krushat's question was not, I didn't hear the answer maybe. Are repairs besides just diagnostics going to be conducted to help further passing? You know what I mean? Like, are there going to be minor repairs being done?
That's up.
In her public comments, she said there would be no repairs.
Okay. Okay, just testing.
Only testing.
Okay.
All right. You have questions, Jim? You want to?
Well, are we back over to commission discussion?
Yeah, I would love to go back to that and go in a row.
No, the only thing I would say, and then I'm going to let it go down, is that it seems strange to me we would allow gas stations, which have more of an environmental impact, double containment systems, VOC abatement systems, and a whole bunch of things that you have to do. But we're going to sit here and say that a smog testing, which is just diagnostic machines and a technician, wouldn't be allowed. It just doesn't make sense to me. So however we classify it, if it's specialized automotive service or We keep smog, I guess we lump, what is it? Smog check zoning or a smog check function under light automotive repair? Is that what,
So,
I don't care how we classify
well,
it, but
and here, well, okay, so here's where we're kind of at odds. There is a listed land use called minor automotive repair, which is listed in other zones, but not this one.
Mhm.
So and we have clumped in our interpretation, a smog check station by itself goes into minor automotive repair.
Okay.
It is the applicant's position that is not quite correct.
Okay.
But if it's not quite correct, then where does it go? What else is it?
But if we wanted to have something called specialized automotive service, we can't have that.
Well, we'd have to define what that is, and.
I mean, okay, I guess I get confused here because it says that one of the things that we can recommend is the planning commission could agree with the applicant that a smog check facility is acceptable in this zone and determine that whether a CUP or AUP is appropriate. I'm ready to vote.
Okay. We're gonna move along then. Alex?
And then we'd have to have a justification as that decision. So go ahead.
So if this is just, what's the difference between a, because there are other places that do smog checks in 29 Palms. What is the difference between a star smog check and the rest? And that's to you, yeah, back there.
Can you come up to the mic, please? Thank you.
A star is basically the state of California send you more. They send you star vehicles because you were like a better station. You do good at the grade of smog. When they grade the smog test, you have a good grade, so they give you a star.
And there's no other place in 29 that has that.
Not that I'm sure of. Well, I'm the only test only, so it's not another test only station, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I do agree with the fact that it is having that kind of accessibility in 29 Palms is very important, and also that location had been sitting there for so long, and I've met people who've used to work there, and it's been there for so long, and now it's just an empty vacant lot. You know, I don't personally see a problem with a smog star station there, especially if it's just a testing
and I
area.
want to say, although this request is spurred by one particular location, the decision will have bigger implications here. It would have to be within.
There will be a plethora
Well,
of smog check stations throughout 29.
I just want to make the point.
I understand that. You open the door, but
Well,
Yeah.
because it was decided that it would be a downtown specific zoning, and what type of like items and ideals would we want there? That was to restrict certain things. It's not that it wouldn't benefit the city and that it's a wonderful thing, it just doesn't fit into that zoning. So if we did, to Jim's point, how does that look like? To help, and so the community development director is asking us for like guidance on that part. If
And this is one of those,
Well-
it's like, I don't want to make a decision in a vacuum here.
Right, and so it's tough because you hope for this downtown area and it has specific things when you go there. Maybe, you wouldn't want a storage unit in the middle of your downtown, but maybe you happen to have one because we didn't specify specifically you can have those, the kind of thing. So, but it's a commercial use. So this particular area, we don't specify auto, so.
So it wouldn't just apply to the one location, it would apply then to the whole zone.
Yeah, it would apply to everything in the downtown specific zone. So
In the downtown general zone.
in the
in
downtown,
particular.
so then anybody said, oh, well, it's zone downtown general, I can come and open up a smog test only spot here right next to whatever,
Yeah. Max, do you have any other questions?
Can we see the zoning map real quick, Keith?
Yeah.
I've been trying to find it on my iPad, but it's a kind of a pain in the butt.
It is. So,
I do agree that it's a unique style property. We have seen other neighboring cities turn garage style places into something else, like shopettes or things like that. But hearing the applicant, or the owner speak that it's difficult for people to invest money to want to do that, like, I can understand why it's so difficult to make this choice either way.
all right, so the downtown general is this dark red area, okay? This is downtown traditional, so dark red area is basically from Sun Valley south until we get to just south of, and then south of the Wash, and it's on the east side, and then you go along Highway 62, and it goes a little bit farther south down here to Adobe to Cactus. So all of this area and this area along the north of Highway.
Can you
62.
point to the parcel that it's on
Right
this
here.
map? It's a corner, okay.
Yes, that corner.
So,
I did see your finger.
Keith, can you go to where the other automotive place is on the highway?
Yeah, so
No, it's on a,
it's on Adobe.
well, no, Bailey's is on, I was trying not to use the exact name, but so they do, at least it's my understanding, they do,
Grandfathered.
yeah,
Prior, yeah.
so, right,
So you're just making a point that it's a use that happens inside of
Yeah.
the, yes, I understand what you're saying.
I am not aware if they do, well, I don't know if they do smog check.
And down the
to be
streets,
honest.
and
Well, I
there's
mean, they
collision
do-
and, right.
I
they
did.
do they do all kinds of repairs there.
Yeah.
I did call them earlier, and they do smog checks
Okay.
Bailey says?
before the meeting.
You'll find with most of these places you go to, they'll do smog checks on Tuesdays after 3 when their technician shows up. Having a place that does nothing but smog checks, and I know we got one, is, I think, a good thing. And I don't think it'll lead to the town being inundated with smog check places. I mean, economic factors will always govern that, just
Or-
like with VHRs.
Mr. Krusha, how do you feel about, like, if the way that you're gonna code it, like, if you say minor repair, that maybe it's not smog, maybe it's
That's
I
what
do
I
brakes, or,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here going, I think it should be allowed. How we code it, I don't know. Do we have another category called, that's why I'm asking, do we have another
I mean,
category? called
do we make a
smog
smog test
I
only?
wouldn't make it a smog only.
It would have to be a special.
service.
So you would want it
Because
to, you want it
there's
to
no-
fit into one of these categories, or could you create a different
Well,
category?
and this is the question, because if we need to modify the code, we need to modify the code, which means they
Yeah.
won't be able to go in right away because we need to modify the code first.
Mhm.
If there is a line item there that we can, with a straight face, say this fits within,
Okay,
then we can do that.
so if,
And this
so
is why
right
we
now,
were not able to do that, so
Yeah.
this is why we're here.
so right now,
We go strictly by the book.
right now the downtown general is, the goal is to be more walkable downtown. That's,
That's downtown general's
goal.
right there.
these buildings have been sitting, some of these buildings are sitting empty, I understand. Trying to fill it with those goals in mind has been as she's saying, it's been difficult, but what I'm wondering is if this is changed here and approved, then what will the precedence be? So that's my concern of putting it into one of these, like automotive sale or something else, because it's not just specific to,
This is one of those
smog.
instances where it's not
So that's-
listed, so
yeah.
what do we do with it?
yeah, so that's my concern also, is I wouldn't want to put it in automotive sales or some sort of other item that's already on here, and then open that up for precedence for the entire zoning.
But when we developed this list, we knew it wasn't gonna be an all-encompassing list, right, of allowed uses in the zone.
Well, but we do have that automotive repair somewhere else. So, in other places. So this is why this is a conundrum that we're in.
So what are you, I'm getting confused.
He-
Are you asking for, if you're asking for a recommendation, it sounds to me like you're asking for a recommendation is, where do I put smog checks?
Yes.
Where do I put this function?
Yes.
Do I put it under minor automotive repair, or do I have specialized automotive services?
If it's under minor automotive repair,
But it's
then
not, but it's not a repair. They're not
That's-
a
I
smog
don't know,
check.
we just, yeah, I understand.
So all of these here that you're scrolling, let's just look at the ones that are
They're-
allowable
those are
in the
allowed
CG. That's
uses.
all of these.
So
Can
yeah,
we
go
so
back
this-
up to the very
second-
top?
Yeah. So so let me scroll up to the top really quick. This is the downtown general. This is the zone that they're in. This is residential areas. This is agricultural, institutional. These are transient lodging, which is hotels, which is not going to fit. Here's your commercial uses.
Gotcha.
Here's eating, drinking, and
Right.
food service, entertainment and recreation, retail, wholesale.
Could be a drive-through sales service, non-food.
Right.
Because if you're driving through to get your smog and then you drive out,
I mean, that's
Then
what
it's an
that's what they're
AUP.
doing.
I know, without any other service, like
Oh,
like
that's
a,
almost perfect.
is that
I think to me it fits that use because it's basically they're driving through. They're doing a service,
Or driving up.
but that would also,
would then that include like oil change? Is that
They said no repair.
no? I'm just
No, but
saying
oil-
like
oil
in a
change-
drive-through
to
non-food.
me,
So-
the oil
so-
change would fit in the same spot.
So
Just saying.
So typically when you see drive-throughs without food,
Mhm.
you're thinking like banks.
Okay,
And you're thinking like pharmacies.
but it doesn't specify
It
that.
doesn't specify.
So that's why I'm saying there's no specification. So this comes into one of those things where it's like there's no definition of what a drive-through non-food is, and there's not specifically line item examples of what that is. It doesn't say bank. It doesn't say oil.
That's correct.
What category is that in, Keith?
That would be an AUP.
What
Scroll
type
up
of service?
just a bit. If you scroll up, it has,
The major category for it.
yeah, you're going down. Up, go up, 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 more up. There.
Retail wholesale services. That is not really retail because it's a service. But a wholesale service would be,
It's a,
And so, by the way, whenever I need to make these zoning determinations, we're going to keep this in writing. We're going to keep a running log of these decisions.
So
So
what you're saying is
If we
we
say,
authorize this under drive-through sales and services, non-food.
then we would
So
make
we're at
this,
AUP, and we just annotate this later saying, and this includes,
yes.
okay.
Be-
So, yeah,
because retail, you're
And that keeps it
selling
to
a,
smog checks
he
only.
is,
Test.
no smog and
he's selling that
minor
certification.
right.
yeah, he's selling a
Doesn't mean that
certification.
repair
And
shop
then,
can't
if that's the
do
direction of the
But if he
plan,
just wants to do smog, that fits.
if that's.
but in
if-
that case, if it's just a drive-through, then the person's not supposed to like get out of their car and leave the car there.
It
Is
doesn't
that?
say that.
I know. So what's the difference? Then
There was, but it didn't, none of those uses fit.
It doesn't fit the definition of smog.
See, this is automotive related, that's why.
It
I'm
is.
trying to
Well,
think.
then, yeah.
But I don't find, because I agree with the idea of just an AUP. I like that. I don't think we should force this guy to go through the
parking.
process.
Showing.
Go back down where you had drive-through. Drive-through service, non-food. Drive-through service, non-food in that area is an AUP.
But it's under retail.
Well, you're selling the certificate of passing smog.
Yeah.
It's not
If
a-
there's a
But
definition,
you're-
that would be
you're
helpful.
selling the certificate that you passed your smog check. That's what you're selling.
Yeah. You're selling a smog check. so-
And maybe an air freshener if they're car sticks.
Yeah.
Let's see, definitions. Where's the definitions at? Thank you. Right, you saw that.
Control F.
Portion of the building development intended to allow service to include the building window kiosk, automated delivery service, such as, we were not limited to curbs here, so automatic telling machines or similar service systems.
Through a window.
So they're still not limited to.
Checks.
Ah,
Wait, so it says through a window kiosk or automated delivery system.
we're reaching here, but
That is reaching.
that's to include smog. So your change would be test only smog.
Well, there's no window and there's no kiosk. It's a bay. It's not really that it being an anti thing. That's the point. Is then does it change? Then you have to change the code versus.
Well, it's, that's an open question. I mean, if it's the planning commission's determination to make this decision, that this is good enough, then that's your decision, okay? And we are gonna have to revisit the development code and update it, so this will be a running thing that we would decide, that we would keep a running
We
tab.
decide, and then when you go to update the development code, then we could
add those
update it
changes in.
accordingly.
Mhm.
That's what.
If we were to make, just so I'm clear, if we were to make the decision to come up with a category called specialized automotive service, we'd have to change the code and we'd have to wait until what?
It would
Yep.
be a while. Yeah, because we'd have to change the code, so
But if we make the decision now to put it under drive-through,
you're
boom,
done.
we're done.
Okay.
Okay, well, that makes it easy.
So the other thing to consider is
Can
we
we
have.
do both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Can
can
we
direct
do
us to
And then
clarify.
say, we would like to, in a future meeting, work on updating the development code.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Where
they,
it says where we add
I think
specialized automotive
that's-
service.
yeah, because you also have automotive stereo and sound system installation,
Right.
which is a CUP, but it's a CUP.
That whole area's always been automotive.
Can I make a
Yeah.
motion?
So,
But you're saying that it's stringent, that an automotive stereo sound system place for installation is a CUP, but a smog is only AUP. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what you guys are saying.
If you categorize it under a drive-through, that's what the drive-through is. So if you're putting it into the category, that's already set. So in order to set something that actually would say this is a CUP, you would have to change it in
I
the
understand.
ordinance. So,
I understand.
okay.
So,
Can I say something? Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Oh, obviously I'm pro the idea of classifying this as a drive-through service. But I think that if the smog testing is quick enough, right, it's a fast enough inspection, and the technicians can perform their testing. I think Tracy said he only has maybe 2 cars at a time, right? I think it would actually be kind of ideal to classify this as a drive-through service.
Because they're not getting out of their car. And generally, they're not getting out of the car.
I know, but it's,
I've had my car smogged, and I've always gone out of my car and never stayed in my car. So it doesn't mean you can't make it a drive-through only stay in your car, because you could, but I just have never done that up here. But actually, I have done it in other places when it's like at a gas station that does it like a quick drive one. I have done it before, but just not here. So there's nowhere here that does just a drive-through only. So then is that a good thing to have something that's quick and drive-through?
I liked Max's idea.
Can I make a motion? Are we
Well,
good
let's
with that
let
motion?
Alex finish.
Nope, sorry.
I liked your idea of readdressing it later on, but trying to put it in the idea of doing both, just to kind of get this. But it's just my thought.
Okay, we want to make a motion, Max?
All right, can you go back to that allowable use list, please, sir?
Or recommendation?
it's,
Oh, okay. So then let's go one by one of what you would like to see
well,
then, right?
Can I explain my idea?
Yeah.
Real quick?
Great.
So, my idea is to allow this smog station to go in the downtown general zoning under the drive-through retail services non-food, allowed use for that zoning and then we will come back and work on doing some development updates later for this type of use.
Okay, so that would require an administrative use permit.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And Leslie, what do you think it should be?
I disagree.
So what do you think, what would you like to see it be? What's your recommendation?
I don't disagree with the idea. I think it's a wonderful need. I just, if things have to get changed to be proper, then that's what we should work at.
Okay, Jim?
Well, no, I realize this is a special case, and that's why they have us. We come in here, we apply common sense to keep things moving, to keep buildings occupied, businesses coming into 29 Palms. So I don't have a problem with finding a way to keep this moving and then coming back and saying, okay, we need to address how we're going to talk with a smog check facility and either put that under a specialized automotive service
Or some other category.
or some other category. But for this purpose at here, knowing that we're annotating right now on this particular case, we've made this decision. And that's what they have us here for, is to apply common sense.
Thank you.
That's
Alex?
my belief.
I do agree with Max's approach. It's such a I think it's no matter how we go about it, it's just going to have to get relooked at regardless. But for spaces like that, but I do agree with Max's approach.
Okay.
Okay. And for me, I think I have a hard time fully putting this in the drive-through non-food category because the description itself. So I think if I am not opposed to putting it in that now in order to bring it forward so that a business can be operating in a vacant building with boarded up windows in the downtown general. I think that would be
Okay.
but
so
I do not think, I think that doing it could set precedents that I don't think has been considered fully.
Okay,
for
so
those.
this is what I'm hearing,
Mhm.
and you guys can correct
4-1.
that we're going to, since this is just a smog check facility without any repair, that it would, for right now, be considered as a drive-through non-food. And I can and I will put this in writing for the next
Yeah.
planning commission, just so we can be official about it.
I think Leslie and I disagree on.
Well,
that-
but
okay.
I've
Great.
heard 3 out of
Okay.
5.
Okay. No, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, and then, but the direction is to clarify that in the future with a development code update.
Yeah, and with the development code update, I would want it to see it as a specific separate line item
It's either that or we update the definitions.
or update the definition, yeah. Because I think that's a lot of what in the ordinance, like there's a lot of definitions that could be updated
Sure.
to allow for a lot more things in a better way, that they're like less definitive of naming exact things like kiosk window. That changing that would change the definition.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will formalize this for the next planning commission, just so you can give the once over, just make sure we're all on the same page. So Amanda, are you still there?
Yes,
Okay, so that's.
I'm here.
So that's, you heard the direction of the planning commission, yes?
Yes, I heard it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, it seems positive. Thank you all.
Thank you, Amanda.
I appreciate your time.
Next is a community development director updates.
Okay, so, I just want to remind the planning commission to check your mail at City Hall. From time to time, you may have some items in there that you need to pick up. So do that from time to time. You know where the mailbox is. As far as updates go, we are down to 1, 2, 3 planning commissions left in the rest of the year. The next planning commission will be on November the 4th. We are going to hopefully put a final decision on some of the workshops we've done, so we can move forward from them. When I may have a development application for you on the 18th. We'll see if everything gets ready by then. And then the last one would be the December 16th, which I have not set anything on the agenda yet, so far. Yeah, so December the 2nd, the commission already preemptively canceled that meeting because that's also the same day as the holiday parade. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. We may have part one of a pretty in-depth workshop on the 16th to be continued though, but we'll find out.
Okay. And we have no study sessions, so we're gonna adjourn the meeting.
So I'll write up this just to be formal about it next time around, and what we'll do is whenever we have these things, we'll memorialize it.
Can you guys take one of these? Jeff, I know